You know, when you talk about H1N1, it says a lot about the industry where they had so many people standing in lines for 2 to 3 hours and, like I said, searching for which place would have it next when they ran out. I mean, it says a lot about the industry that they made such a big part of the population do what they did just to get a shot.
There are less people being sheep today than there were 10 years ago is the best way I can answer that, because when I started getting really involved with this, which was back in September of 2000, and I went to the National Vaccine Information Center meeting in Washington, D.C., and I came home and said, wow, I've been in medicine since 1985. I've been doing integrative medicine since 1996. This is now 2000. How did I miss this vaccine issue? Probably because I come from 3 generations of chiropractors, and none of my family members were vaccinated. I don't have any children, so I never had to address that issue in my own life. I didn't know any vaccine-injured persons, and so I thought, well, this is kind of an interesting thing. I sat through 3 days of meetings of vaccine-injured parents giving testimonials, scientists, doctors, all sorts of people talking about the bad things with vaccines. I thought, wow, how did I miss that? Well, maybe I ought to look into this. So the first paper that I read was the CDC's, the Center for Disease Control's paper, General Recommendations of Vaccination, their 1998 version of that paper. It was a 42-page paper, and I got to the end of it and I went, this is it? I mean, this is it? This is what an entire industry is made off of? It's bad science and lots of hypothesis and some spelling errors and grammar errors, and this is it? A multi-billion-dollar, maybe I ought to look into this a little farther. Well, looking into it a little bit farther has led to 12,000 hours of research over the last 11 years. And you know, you can't find what you're not looking for, but when you're looking for stuff, you can actually find it. And you find all of the bad science, all of the shoddy research, all of the studies that the conclusion of the abstract doesn't match anything that's reported in the rest of the study. And you start looking around for all of the documented evidence of where problems come from. Like, for example, some of the side effects of vaccines that we know of that are published in the medical literature, this is a short list. Autoimmune disease, lupus, ITP, thyroiditis, hives and rashes, reactive arthritis, chronic juvenile arthritis, seizures, MS, MS-like syndromes, CNS demyelinization, polyneuropathy, insulin-dependent diabetes, vasculitis, a whole long list of vascular diseases, visual problems like bilateral optic neuritis, central retinal artery occlusion, which causes blindness, hearing loss, profound deafness, nephrotic syndrome, and glomerulonephritis, which are kidney diseases, asthma, eczema, and yes, autism. And guess what? That list I just read you is just attached to the hepatitis B vaccine. Now, what about all the other vaccines and all the other types of conditions? So when I said earlier about that the vaccine industry is the backbone of the pharmaceutical industry. If children get hepatitis B vaccine at birth and they can develop this list of things, how many drugs are sold and hospitalizations and all kinds of things that are happening for a lifetime of those conditions as a potential side effect of just that one vaccine is starting from birth going forward. It holds the industry up. If we stop it, even if we stop it by 50%, our healthcare, the spectrum of our healthcare industry will change completely.